Hi class, in this video we'll be trying to automate and make this future value of annuity formula a bit more automated and dynamic. Uh, when you develop a formula or you apply anything in any kind of financial model, the model should be one that is working for every set of possibility. That is very first requirement. So in this case, what we are going to do, we will try and make it more dynamic in terms of having this particular function, which is more versatile. It can be used in multiple periodicity as well. So how we are going to do it? So for example, when I say annuity, this particular value, might be paid per annum. It might be paid per month. It is possible that we are paying it per quarter. It is possible that we might be paying, even per week. There are some schemes there you invest weekly as well. So, and even half yearly or something like that. So, what happens here? If you're not, if you're just applying one kind of single formula, let's say if you're applying for per month, so what you normally do when you have this per month function into picture, so the future value function that you'll be applying, you'll be using this particular method that you'll be basically going for that function of fv, and you normally divide rate by 12, comma, so you normally multiply this duration by 12. So this is how you normally do. When you'll be doing it for quarter, you'll be using number 4 over there. So this is like every time you're changing the periodicity of your investment, you have to change your formula. And that's not the perfect way. So let us try and make it more automated, even if it is quarterly, annually, or monthly, or fortnightly, weekly, half-yearly. So we'll be able to accommodate everything in single formula. So we'll not change formula. Our formula will dynamically pick those things over here. So let us understand how can we do that. So very first thing is the payment that we are doing. We need to add one more row over there, and that's what we are calling the periodicity. How much, at what frequency we are making that investment. So now the investments, normally as per the normal logics, may go in this sequence. This might be annual, this might be half yearly. We are going by that order, and then it might be quarterly, and this might be monthly for sure. Then you might even, in fact, go for fortnightly, 15 days, uh, like in a month, twice you're doing that. You might even think to make it weekly. So this is how the different things will be there. So when it is annual, there's no point to convert any number or multiply or divide, because it is one. In a year, there's 1 year. That's it. When you talk about half yearly, there are two halves in a year. So when you do half yearly, you will go with two. Obviously, there are 4 quarters in a year. So when you have to adjust for the quarter, you'll be dividing and multiplying by 4. In a year, we have 12 months. In a year, because in a month, we have 2 fortnights. So by that number, we are going for 24 fortnights in a year. Uh, there are different mathematical ways of doing that, but we are just following simple logics. 52 weeks in a year. So this is how you will have the time factor. So this is what I'm calling periodicity, and this is what I'm calling the time factor. So this is the time factor by which my formula has to be adjusted if I'm switching from annual to quarterly. So it has to be adjusted by 4. If I'm going for monthly, it has to be adjusted by 12. If I'm going for weekly, it has to be adjusted by 52. So I want that this periodicity, I should have a drop down, and I will select from that particular drop down here. So let us go to data, and in data you have this option of data validation, and in data validation you can simply select on list, and in this list we are definitely going to select the list that we want to create as a drop down, the annually, half yearly, quarterly, and monthly, and so on. There's a very specific purpose of making this drop down here, because we are going to apply VLOOKUP function later, and sometime when you type differently, if you're keeping a small or whatever changes there, the formula will not be able to understand. So it's always good to reduce the human intervention in any formula, in any model. So that's what we are doing here. So let us do it like this, and now we are able to see, okay, all the options are available here. So when I do monthly, it will come monthly. When I say half yearly, it will come half yearly. Now moving on, we need another thing over here, that's the time factor that I want to adjust my values for. So the time factor. So what I want in time factor here, that if it is half yearly, then my time factor should be 2. But if it is for example, moving to quarterly, my time factor should adjust to 4. So again, I want to make it dynamic. So how will I do that? So let me just apply VLOOKUP function here, and I want to look up this number. This is my lookup value. I want to look up that in this table array. I'm not freezing anything because I'm not going to drag the formula, comma, what I am looking for, the time factor, and the time factor is in the second column. And I'm looking for an exact match. So false means 0. So I'll go with the 0, and I'll just hit enter here. Now, what is the important thing to see here, that what we have done, this periodicity has been linked with the time factor here. So what you do, the moment you change this to 1, annual, this goes to 1. The moment you change it to quarterly, it goes back to 4. When you go for monthly, it will be 12. So now what's happening, it is the monthly, this looks in this, and this gets us the answer of 12. So this is how the VLOOKUP has made this particular function pretty dynamic. So now if I wish to see one more thing, that what is my type of annuity. So again, I want to automate that as well, because if it is new annuity, I want type 1. If it is regular annuity, then I want type 0. I've explained that in the previous video. So what is my type of annuity? So what is my type of annuity, and what I want, the type of annuity, I'll be just writing here. This is my assumption worksheet. So I said there are two types of annuity. One is regular, and just to be specific, I'm just mentioning it is end of the duration. And then I have due annuity, which is at the beginning of the duration. So beginning of duration. So this is how it works. So now what I can do, I can simply go here and make it again a kind of drop down here, because that will be easier way. And we know that in regular annuity, the type has to be 0, and the due annuity, the type has to be 1. So we'll automate this as well. So let me just make a drop down menu here again. So I'm going to data validation, again going to a list, and list at source, and specify these two numbers, because I want to drop down of these two numbers here. So now it will be here. So if I specify here, this will turn out to be good. Now I want this number to be automated accordingly. If it is regular, it has to be 0, but if it is due, then it has to be 1. So that's not changing right now. For that purpose, I need to change it. So what I'll do, I'll make it dynamic by using VLOOKUP function. I want to look up this in this table array, and comma, again my answer is in second column, and I want exact match, so that's 0. So what happens here, the moment you change your type of annuity here, your type of annuity will automatically change. So then the formula is becoming more dynamic. Now you can apply a basic function here and see the magic. So if you say that you're investing 6,000 rupees per month, and your rate of return expected in a good mutual fund, you're putting your money and you're expecting 12% return, what is going to be your future value? So you can just go with FV function, future value, and the rate of return is 12. This rate of return has to be divided by time factor. The time factor in this case is 12, because we are going from a monthly number. Now next time when we change the periodicity, the time factor will automatically change. So we are referring, we are not typing any number here. Cell referencing is the key here. Then we have number of period, that is 15 in this example. We need to multiply this with the time factor again. So again, when the periodicity will change, the time factor will automatically change, and this will automatically update in the formula. Minus, because the amount that you're paying is an outflow, is 6,000, the per month investment that you're doing, comma, we don't have any number as the principal value here, or the present value that we are putting in. I have already explained you when we play with the duration of the compounding, or monthly, quarterly, or half-yearly kind of investment, then we should not combine principal value investment, lump sum investment along with this formula. In the previous video, I have already explained that. So that's what you'll do, and you have to specify 0 here, then move on. Then it is asking you the kind of type of annuity. So 0 for type of end of the period, and 1 for the beginning of the period. I'm not typing any number, I'm referring it to my type which I've already specified. So closing the bracket here. Now you see that number is ready. We have got the answer, and let me just understand whether this particular answer is working well or not. So if I say I'll be putting 10,000 rupees quarterly here. So if I just switch on to quarterly, so what happens here? By default, my time factor has changed, and accordingly, my formula is working in a correct way, and I'm getting a quarterly value as well. So if you wish to say, okay, if I make it annually, that much of investment I'll do annually. So what I'll be able to achieve. So that's what you're getting answer. And if you say, okay, I'm a very small tiny investor, I'll be able to invest 1,000 rupees per week. So that is also being covered here. So you get that answer. Okay, in 15 years you'll be getting that much. If my duration changes to 20, my future value changes. If I'm investing at 9%, my future value is very dynamically set now. So normally, what we do normally, we can hide this. Either we can hide this. Normally we can just simply uh, whitewash it, or we can put it in some sheet and hide it. So that's up to you. But the idea was to make you understand how can we make a dynamic future value worksheet. Thank you.